Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm EG and this is a Wednesday Reads book review video. This week I read a book called Through the Eyes of a Mother by Alina Yates. It's a non-fiction piece talking about her experience with dealing with the medical world when her son, as a newborn, was discovered to have haemophilia. Now, if you aren't aware, haemophilia is a disease of the blood where it doesn't clot properly and you bleed very easily. So, you know, as you're growing, joints will bleed spontaneously. Things like falling over can be deadly because if you get a bleed beneath the skin, you can bleed internally and no one will be able to fix it. And so you can definitely have treatments for it, and the medical world has advanced well enough that generally a person with haemophilia can lead a mostly normal life, but it is a very sometimes difficult disease. It can be difficult to understand, it can be difficult to deal with, and this book talked about her experience dealing with the medical world in this. And let me tell you, it was very interesting. Now, I have had my own problems with the medical world. It can be sometimes difficult to get people to listen to you, to figure out what it is that's actually going on. I've had huge amounts of run around trying to figure out my celiac issue, and I mean, the diagnosis actually came from someone who was completely unrelated to the medical world, but it turns out they were right. So things like that can make dealing with problems kind of difficult, and that definitely showed up in this book. The first problem was, okay, they didn't even know she was pregnant. She was hugely in pain and they couldn't figure out what it was. They thought it was a kidney infection, a muscle cramp, and no, it turns out she was pregnant. And then when the child came, when Chris came, okay, why is he bleeding? Well, you know, we just need to redo the stitches. No, he's bleeding rather profusely, and that's not good. And oh no, it turns out he has haemophilia. And then going through and figuring out, okay, what are the best treatment options? Doing research on your own as opposed to just what the doctors will tell you. What's best for the child? Should you do this just because the hospital is pressuring you? And I mean, it was, honestly, it's a bit depressing how many issues there were with the medical world, because they were pressuring her into doing certain things that didn't actually make sense treatment-wise. And so, you know, going in and being told that this is absolutely what it must be, and it turns out no, it's not. And it was, you know, she was very much wanting the best for her child, and I absolutely appreciate that she managed to do this. This is amazing that she was able to go in and hold her ground and do the research herself. And it shows that, you know what? Yeah, moms are pretty fantastic. This was a great story talking about, you know, what it feels like to be a mother trying to solve a difficult situation. And I think this can apply to just about any situation, honestly. I'm not a mother, so I don't know all of the specifics, but I imagine that it's a very intense thing to be wanting to go off and protect your child from a world that is supposedly actually trying to help your child. And I think it's fantastic. I do appreciate, you know, the intensity and the difficulties that she went through to deal with this. And it's also a little bit terrifying about the medical world. Honestly, if I hadn't had problems with the medical world myself, I would have kind of thought that this was a little bit unbelievable. But I will vouch 100% that this is it's true, unfortunately. It can be a very difficult thing to deal with, but this is a hopeful story because it does turn out well, so there's that. And I think, you know what, I think it's a good story. Writing style wise, it felt a little bit rushed. It was a fairly short story, but it's also a non-fiction piece, and even though it was written as a narrative with dialogue and interaction, I think it actually worked well without having a huge amount of detail and a huge amount of dialogue, and it was more description than otherwise. Because it was stating more facts and it was focusing more on the facts and the reality of the situation as opposed to the character interactions. And for a nonfiction piece, I think that worked well. I think there were some pieces that were glossed over a little bit, not a huge amount, but a little bit. And I think that would have been nice, maybe to see some development of Chris and what it was like when he got older. I'm not sure. But you know what? I think this is a great book. I really enjoyed reading it, and I would highly recommend it for anyone who is looking for, information on the matter, for people who are struggling with medical problems at the moment, for people who just want an inspirational story about a mum trying to do the best for her child. I would absolutely go recommend it. So you can find all of the links in the description box below as usual, and if you are interested, do go check this book out. If you want to see more of these videos or catch up on my writing videos, then please do subscribe. You can reach me at all of my social media. You can find my website. I'm in the process of updating it, and it's been a little slow, so I apologize if it looks a little bit... The information is a couple of months old sometimes. Anyways, so you can find me at all of these places. Please do subscribe. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you today. I will see you next time. Bye.